Good morning. This is Morten from English TV, and it's such a pleasure today. I'm going to learn about a lot of new things because I'm talking to a guy, Arno, and a company, Weilburger, that I know, but I don't know so well. So, Arno, good morning, and welcome here on English.
Good morning, Morten. So it's a pleasure for me to talk to you about the company, about myself, about the product. So let's go.
Let's go. That was a good starting point here. Let's talk a little bit about you first before we talk about Weilburger. Who is Arno and what do you do?
Yeah, my name is Arno Duerr. I'm working for the company since more than 30 years, and nowadays as a sales director. But originally I'm coming from the technical side, so used to be an operator on a press, printing instructor. Later on in technical service, technical sales in Weilburger, head of technical service, now sales director. Also a quite long career.
I would say that with a career where you have actually been operating machines, I always think that it must be a huge advantage, because when you visit customers and talk to them, you know the good arguments and the good, let's say, tips and tricks for how to utilize your products even better, right?
Yeah, of course you have a much more deep knowledge than as an operator on a press, but more related to the press, of course, and to the technique of the press. And you can give some good advices for sure. This is very much helpful.
Do you remember when you had your first day with Weilburger years ago? How was that, the first day?
Yeah, it was in 1992 in summertime. So this was totally different from now. So in the last 30 years, we made great developments, great efforts, and it was more working basic, and of course it changed a lot during these years. Huh?
And with the changes, has that also become like changes for the company? Because when I visited your website to get to know a little bit about Weilburger before talking to you, it seems that it's not only the printing industry. You offer your services and all the things you do to many different industries, right?
That's correct. The Weilburger Group is offering a lot of different services. So there's the market segment of the industrial coatings, which are our colleagues in Weilburger Coatings. But we are just taking care of the graphic industry, of the printing industry. So we have a very clear focus on the printing industry.
Let's talk a little bit about Weilburger and the products you do. Is it mainly like coatings you do, or what is the product range that you offer? What does it include?
Yeah, of course, we started with the coatings. In the past, it was solvent-based. Now we are a solvent-free site. Now it's water-based. It's UV. It's water-based inks. It's water-based lamination adhesive. So this is where we are coming from. And then, I guess it was 10 years back, we also had a look on the corrugated industry. And in between, we are also producing water-based inks for the corrugated industry for a specific process, which is called the post-press process.
Mm-hmm. So it basically means that with the experience that you have in the company and your segment in particular, it is of course going into the more sustainable direction, using water-based inks and coatings and all the things you do. But I take that it's also because, with the machines getting faster, the machines getting more like technical, complicated, that is using your consumables, it must also require a lot of engineering in making sure that you can deliver the quality that you need, right?
Yeah, of course, we had to adapt the coatings, the inks to the machines, to the application. There were a lot of changes during the last 30 years. Then, of course, food packaging came more in focus, and all the issues you have to take care if you're talking from food packaging. So there were really a lot of changes, but we did it in a good way. We are quite successful, so it was very positive.
And one thing is that when you talk about the success, I was just about to say that one thing is, of course, the products, but I guess also that it's very much that the organization as a group is capable of listening to the market and understanding where it's moving. So tell me a little bit how big is Weilburger, and how do you get the knowledge that keeps you being innovative?
Okay, yeah, here at this site we are approximately 140 people. 10% are trainees, 10% in R&D. So very, very good organized. Yeah, and then we have, of course, a lot of partners around the world. So our sales channels are sister companies, for example, in Turkey and in Spain, in Peru, in Mexico. But we also have distributors, which are very important for us. So these are partners who are working independent. We gave them, or we offered them training sessions so that they are always, let's say, state-of-the-art educated. And of course, through all these partners, through all these people, we get very nice and a very wide feedback from the market.
And I was just about to say that, because I think that for laymen, and I must say that I have been in the printing industry for many, many years, but I have not been a printer, and I have not been, like a print operator. So I mean, if you look at the market today, so how big difference, if you look at your competitors versus the products that you deliver, are there huge differences in the inks and the coatings from what you offer and the others, or is it more about the relations that you build up?
No, originally we produced a lot of special products, but due to a big investment we did from 2017 onward, we are also now capable to produce bulk products, volume products. So we have another product mix looking at our competition. So we have the water-based, we have the UV, we have the inks. So our mix, our product mix, our product portfolio is different from our competitors, which is of course a strength, which offers us more opportunities in the market.
And I take that also, if you are like a distributor or even a daughter company, it must be nice to have like a one-stop place for having both the varnishes and the inks, right? And I take that, as you say, the value proposition when you go to the market is, I mean, with somebody else you need to maybe have more suppliers, and having one good supplier is of course sometimes much easier.
Yeah, of course it's much easier for them. So we offer them the full range. So if you're talking from coatings for protecting the packaging, let's say, or for having a nice finishing on the packaging, we are the right partners because we can offer the full range, a lot of varieties, a lot of different products, looking at functional aspects, at haptic aspects. So there we have really the full range, and it's like a one-stop shop, like you said.
I take that of course you need to work closely also with the hardware suppliers, because I mean you need to have the consumables needs to work with the hardware side, of course. I was wondering, in a lot of people are now talking about the digital transformation, going into digital as well. Is that something that influences a company like Weilburger?
Not depending what you're looking. If you look in production, of course, we did a lot of digitalization. Like explained, we did a big investment, starting with the planning in 2015. With the construction, we started in 2017. We finished by end of 2020. So looking at this aspect, there was a big change for us. So the plant is now more or less fully automized with robot technology and logistic systems. Looking at the products, of course, there's also digitalization is also an issue. There we're working on products for digital printing machines, for example. So let's say primers to improve printability, but also, for example, UV inkjet products for having a nice finishing.
The reason I was asking was because I was just thinking, I saw on LinkedIn the other day there was a guy commenting on one of my posts about digital print, saying that one of the advantages in flexo and offset is that you can pick your own supplier of inks, and when you get into the digital space it becomes more like let's say more closed ecosystem. So I was just wondering, because a lot of printing companies today are going towards digital. So I was thinking maybe that influenced at least on the ink side. But do you work with some of the digital print OEMs, or you're supplying a third-party product that fits the bill anyway, or how does that work for you?
We are in contact with some machine manufacturers who are active in the digital market, in finishing in the digital market, and we're doing some common development. So we share our knowledge, our experiences to develop the products.
And how? I mean, if you look at the coatings and the inks and these products, how difficult is it to keep being innovative? I mean, because your engineers, they have to be smart and figure out things. So are we getting to let's say a time now where it's getting more and more difficult to get new ideas and really develop products, or there's still a lot of ideas that can be developed?
Yeah, of course, like you mentioned before, you have to have your ear in the market. You have to work very close with your own colleagues, with the distributors, with the sister companies. There you get a very good feedback. You have to work with the machine manufacturers, where you get very nice feedback. And of course, what is also important, to work with the raw material suppliers, which are also quite important for us. And there you can bring all the knowledge, all the experience together and work on new developments. And of course, what you finally have to do, you have to have a look on the consumers. So of course, environmental aspects, sustainability aspects, becoming more and more important, especially when you look on packaging.
Also, the European Union have. I don't know if they have actually done it already, but they spoke about that they will ban, for example, lamination and single-use plastic. Yeah. But I guess that is an advantage for. I know that you do, as you said, you do adhesive for laminations, but I guess that still, when you are so strong in the coating segment, I think that is something where you are prepared for how the future may look, right?
Yeah, you have to be prepared. Of course, replacing plastic is a big issue in the market, and therefore we have a good range, or an interesting range of barrier coatings, which could replace plastic, for example, for frozen food packaging, for oily and greasy food stuff. There we can offer the right products, and we are quite successful. So nowadays we can feel that this is a growing market.
So does that mean that instead of having, let's say, a PE film or any kind of lamination as a food or grease barrier, that will be possible to do now or in the future with let's say, a coating?
Yes, customers are already doing it. You will find some packaging already in the market where plastic, PE extruded material is replaced by a coating, and we are working strong with a lot of power on these kind of products.
Wow, it must be fantastic to see, because I mean, as I said, if you look at from, let's say, a normal person's perspective, it's like you understand that you have something plastic against paper, there cannot get fluids through. But then again, you have to think that the technology and especially also a company like Weilburger is capable of inventing technology that is having this impact. Because I mean, it must be a huge potential for you guys. I mean, if you look at all the food packaging, and everybody's talking about packaging as a growing sector, it must be fun to be part of.
As you know, packaging is always strong, even during the crisis we had. So packaging was always strong. We focus on this packaging market, and of course it's very interesting to see when you go through the shop and you see, let's say, more or less your products. But I guess a lot of people don't know how many efforts are behind this products. They just take it away, take it home, open it, take out whatever, and then might be they throw it away.
Yeah, and I mean, the messaging to let's say that I'm a printing company that is producing packaging for food, for example. Is it difficult to convince them about changing from what they have always used to something new, or is it also requirements that come from the brand owners and the manufacturers of the food itself, or how do we get that communication across?
I guess it's coming from all sides, for sure, also from the brand owners, but it's also the own interest of, let's say, printing companies, their own responsibility to look on such products, to introduce it to their customers. And it's our responsibility, of course, to show them our product range, what is possible, to ask the right questions. And of course, what is also a big issue looking at these barrier coatings, for example, is that they have the right technology. So we have to be prepared technology-wise.
Fantastic. Arno, you're going to exhibit at drupa, and that is actually one of the reasons why we got to know each other, right? And I was just thinking, because as far as I remember, you are doing some quite exciting project together with both IST and Heidelberg at drupa booth. Is it something that you can talk about now, or does people need to go and see that on site?
Yeah, of course, we're working on common projects, which we want to make it excited a bit, and don't want to talk too much about the projects we will show on drupa. And for us, the most important topic is to meet people again after an 8 years break. So now all the exhibitions restarting again, and of course drupa is the most important one in Europe. And our philosophy is not to do nothing or to wait for something. So we want to be an active part of drupa, and of course we also want to support the printing industry and finally our customers.
I can say, because I totally understand why we can't disclose what you're showing at drupa, but I can tell to the audience watching this film, you should go to Weilburger IST Heidelberg booth. It's not a one booth, but they are just near each other. Yeah. So I think you co-exhibit with IST, right? And IST is just next to Heidelberg. And it's funny because when I spoke to Andreas from IST, I think he said that it is extraordinary low number of exhibitors this year that are exhibiting inks and coatings. So I guess that gives you even further opportunities in the market because you're there, right? Yeah,
we decided to go for drupa, to support drupa. We know that some competitors won't be there for what reason ever, but we really have the philosophy to support drupa, to support the industry, to support the industry, and to meet people, to meet our customers, to meet new customers, to meet the distributors, to discuss with partners. Yeah, so this is very much important for us, and we are really looking forward.
I think it would be exciting. I mean, just of curiosity, for example, these barrier coatings you spoke about, is that something you show at drupa, or what can people expect from you?
Yeah. In the past, we already had a very nice cooler project with IST and with Kocher and Beck. It was for the champagne manufacturer Kessler in the Stuttgart area. Of course, we will show these samples, and we also have other ideas for other samples for this all-over topic, replacing plastics. Huh?
Mm-hmm. Is it difficult to market what Weilburger does? I mean, because I can tell you it's funny because when we, for example, make films about software, it's like almost impossible because software is just inside the computer. Sometimes you cannot see much, right? And I was just thinking that if you have like different types of inks and coatings, from the outside it may look more or less like the same, but you have big differences. So is it difficult to communicate the difference between you and your competitors, or how do you feel about that?
Yeah, of course, bulk products just offer, let's say, functional aspects to a box, to a packaging. But we also have coatings which show, let's say, visual effects, which show tactile effects. These products are much easier to explain. You can attract people much more easy than with these standard products.
And we are going to make some films from Weilburger. Maybe we can make some really good films from when we have a real camera instead of the webcams, where we can see the details of some of these applications, of course, right? So I think that would be totally awesome. It seems to me that talking to you gives me like an impression that Weilburger and yourself has a very good belief in the future, right?
Yes, for sure. We have a very good belief in the future. So we prepared our future, like a bit explained, starting in 2017. with the new production line. So we are very, very well prepared, really, with the new production line for the future. And we also have a very innovative team who is working on new products. Yeah, and everything is very, very solid, very well organized, and we are very keen about the future, and we are enthusiastic about the future. So very optimistic.
And now I'm enthusiastic to come and see your booth at drupa, because I mean it's I worked as a sales and marketing manager in the printing companies in Denmark before we started Inkish, and it's always funny because I think that two segments in the industry that are maybe the most important but least, let's say, in the media is probably paper and consumables, and it's actually what is driving the industry, because if we didn't have either, right, there will be no printing, right? So Arno, I'm very pleased that you took time to talk to me today. I know that it was a little bit on a late note, but I think we did great. I hope you enjoyed the chat as well, and then I look very much forward to meet you and your team at drupa, of course, and maybe we see each other before. I still don't know whether it's me or one of my colleagues that will come to Weilburger, but we will figure out, and I look very much forward to the next time at least. So I want to thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and looking forward to seeing you on drupa, and of course you are invited to visit us in our place in Gerhardshofen to have a look around.
I would really like to, I can tell you. So so if not this time, I will take you up on the offer and maybe just come and visit you another time, because I think it is a very important part of the industry, and I think the media is speaking too little about all these interesting things. So I want to thank you again. So Arno,
thanks a lot.
See you.
Bye bye.
Thank you.